Alright, so today we've got the older man playing the younger man, Kelty, versus Carnage. Did I say Kelty? Oh, I meant Greeky. He's playing Greek again now. Carnage finding a nice hunt this game. Greeky actually not scouting the low ground yet and committing to the berries first. Getting Picker's Gloves because it's 20% upgrade and berries are a lot worse without it. Hunting Dogs actually costs 50 gold as well when you get to 10% gathering rate increase, and the huntable gather rate is already a bit faster. And the beauty of this map, even though these hunts are a little bit hard to find sometimes and the seeds can be a bit weird, it is a really fun map, I find, and it can be quite rewarding to actually throw up a fairly safe market on the high ground. And then when you take a later town centre, you know, you've got the potential to have the caravans already on the way, and you can, you know, still get from the further point about if you get a high ground second town centre at 20 or 30 gold, so it's pretty good. Not exactly useless considering you can get the caravans out, and then like I said, age 3 town centre, age 4 town centre on the low ground, a lot more gold, and it's pretty much hard to crack up here. So both players playing fairly greedily so far. No one getting a production facility thus far. Working towards that second town centre, and yeah, they're both on this nice high ground. There is these nice clumps of resources around the map, but they're going to have to give up this nice defensive position to get to it. And then because of the map shape, it's hard to try and defend your base, because any units down here, they've got to run all the way around to get to anything over here, and vice versa. So we're just gathering for now. Carnage shifting across to the high ground trees over here. There's a reasonable amount of resources on this map, but Greeky not actually getting a lot of trees on this side because he's got so much on the other side. Just looks funny that it's so little. Look at taking the hunt now because he's already so far behind, having not taken it. So you don't actually get to see the Babylonian research time because it's actually the building. And Carnage should have his age up, kicking in slightly faster than Greeky, I think, here. Be about the same time. Now they're going to look at more aggressive sort of scouting. Try and figure out where one another are gathering on the low ground so they can try and raid and get some kills. Carnage getting an early handsaw. And he's got his H2. Just needs his stone. Getting some gardens. So the beauty of being a little bit slower on the stone, a bit faster on the wood, is that you can get the early garden. And he's going for a low ground town centre over here. Greeky going for one up here. Carnage instantly scouting Greeky's. Luckily enough for him, having thought, well, Greeky's probably going to go for the fact that he's got a double food here, and he's also got the gold mine all to defend in the one spot. Carnage has going for this wood and food. He's going to need to go shift onto another hunt. He hasn't actually cleared near at the moment, so I don't know if he's... Oh, actually he is. He has. It's a much better spawn for him this game with his hunts. Greeky's hunts, not the best, but I mean the fact that he had this one here, did find it pretty early, and had already made up his mind to commit to the berries is pretty much fair enough. Let's see what good gear you've got. Oh, wall joints, the architect. Yeah, that's alright. Carnage has Heroes gear. It's big noob. Heroes gear in every slot. Everything Heroes gear. Heroes walls. So Greeky hasn't seen the second town center yet either, so he doesn't know where that is for Carnage just yet. Carnage knows exactly what's going on in Greeky's base. He's seen the barracks. He hasn't seen the stables go up, so it's the only bit of intel he doesn't know about Greeky just yet, but he's got the health on his scout to have another run by the town center. Greeky is running by Carnages and doesn't know about any of the gardens, doesn't know what Carnage is up to just yet, doesn't really have the health to check. He's going to have to try and run around to actually check, and either he takes damage from the town center or takes a long way around, so just scouting out where Carnage's later resources are. Still doesn't see the town center. Big blow to Greeky. Carnage getting a quick age 3 now, so with the gardens, with the age 3, with the quicker third town center, be very hard to stop the Babylonian player. Surprised Carnage didn't go for any lances though, considering how light on spears Greeky is at the moment. Getting an age 3 himself now though. So 38 to 32 villages. So is that just because the gardens and the fact that the ox carts take a second less to build? The gardens really giving Carnage the advantage here, I think. He's up 7 worker population overall. And he's got 4 ox carts, so he's actually up 3 workers. And Greeky is still aging up at this point in time, so getting the 4 gardens out already has really helped Carnage. And the fact that he was on that hunt earlier and hasn't gathered as much off berries until later into the game. Carnage is a little bit ahead economically, not a huge amount so. And Greeky already has the spears out at the same time. Spears aren't going to be useful later on in the game. Saris will be, and the fact that he's got all these production facilities already is nice. Carnage hasn't got any just yet. Going for a quick age 3, getting some barracks now to actually defend near this town center. So he's getting all the way up to 4 barracks. No stables just yet. And he's getting sappers. So this will be interesting for Carnage. Greeky hasn't actually advanced in on Carnage's base at all yet. I like this triangle of town centers Carnage has got, and then he can always slip a market here or here and gather quite easily if he just gathers out this wood. Spears going in now for Greeky, and he's getting a watch post so he can see what Carnage is doing on the high ground. Carnage continuing to add sappers, so this will be interesting to see. Fucking hell, man. Is he gonna go, what's he gonna pair with the sappers though? Like, you can't just fight with just sappers. So is he gonna get a siege tower? Is he gonna get cavalry? Is he gonna get range? Surely he's gonna do something along with it. We're gonna find out. And these spears aren't going to be able to deal a lot of damage here. They might be able to force a quick worker pullback or garrison, but they're not going to get a huge amount of value. They are going to get good intel for Greeky if he didn't know about this already. He's going to get a villager, though, actually. He's focusing down them one at a time. Oh, this isn't so good. Not anymore, he's not. But he's got good watchtower placement right now. So he's going to know anything Carnage does from this side. But these sappers are going to be able to destroy that quite quickly if there's nothing there to defend the watchtowers. So Greeky now just shifting all his army to the low ground to defend the hunt. Kind of sending across 17 sappers. And if Carnage manages to slip these past, this will be hilarious. He's... Oh, did that see? Did that see? Oh, Greeky does see it! Greeky sees it, so Greeky's gonna pick all these sappers off. And they're gonna try and hit another angle. So Carnage perhaps playing a little bit too boldly there. Was gonna try and send in a quick flank of sappers to actually destroy a lot of this production in Greeky's base, but he's actually just changing angles, and Greeky deciding to push in on Carnage, but by now Carnage has transitioned onto something else. He's got Royal Guards already, and he's getting his stables too, so he can take a good fight with mounted archers or with lancers. And these sappers continuing to sneak their way to Greeky's base. Greeky having to pull back his units, he thinks, even though he still has the unit advantage here. Not for much longer, of course, because Carnage has all that production over there. The sappers are going to get a couple of houses here, and Greeky is really low on wood, so this is going to slow down his economy at this stage. He's going to have to force out another 3 or 4 houses. Carnage is going to lose all these sappers pretty quickly. Needs to probably micro them onto the one last house. Go for another house, go for another house! No, he's running away. He's got the slower units, but he's going to try and run away. Somehow, the Hypaspis not able to get off too many attacks here because the sappers, they're moving at a quick 6 speed compared to the Hypaspis 7 speed. Somehow, just doesn't seem to be that much slower. Stables finishing up. Carnage lucky to not lose the villager there, but he is going to lose the stables. Is he going to be able to get the Lancer in time out of this one? But he will be able to get it out of the next one, I think, here. He's got all these Royal Guards there. Don't have a lot of armor against these Toxotes, but they are going to be able to clean up the Hypaspis. They're basically the same unit, but an Age 3 version, so they are a little bit stronger. Carnage losing his scout now. Throwing down his markets. Now the second stables finishing up for the second time. Greeky hasn't got a market yet, but he's got his armory. So armory text wise, what do we got here? Nothing yet in the armory for Greeky. Carnage has double armories, nothing yet for Carnage yet. So the fact that the map is pretty light on gold, and the fact that you've got to be able to get on the gold is really hurting both of these guys. But Carnage has the fast of the market. Greeky taking a gold now that he's got the map control. He can actually take these golds on this map where it is quite tough to. Because if you're just sitting on one gold, you mine out your top gold quite quickly, and you get one on the low ground. It's very hard to get a second one a lot of the time. So Carnage having to try and defend with everything he's got here. Greeky has a huge force right now and has 20 population lead. So Carnage is really struggling to get units out of the production facilities here. He doesn't have a lot of food either because it's where all of his farms are. Hasn't gotten them farms anywhere else, and Greeky unfortunately hasn't scouted these gardens, because if he picked them off, it could put Carnage in a world of hurt. He's getting 3 less food per second, as well as slower production time out of everything here, but Carnage seems to have enough to defend. He's got bugger all food though. The Lancer champion, very versatile upgrade. So Greeky only got 2 town centers down. So Greeky still only has the 2 town centers. Carnage has 3. All Carnage needs to do is chuck down 3 houses and he can take a bigger fight than Greeky, but Greeky probably is a bit starved for wood in a sense at the moment. He's... oh, thank you for the follow if that was what it was. Greeky still is less than 300 wood, so he's possibly working towards the town centre now. But at the same time, if he can get a nice big range ball here and just enough to defend it, he can actually really put Carnage in a world of hurt. But Carnage is transitioning to a mass stables unit composition now, so this is going to make it a bit hard for Greeky. He doesn't want to have a lot of unmounted units just because they'll simply be too slow, because Carnage can just push in from 2 or 3 angles at once and deal a lot of damage to Greeky's economy. Right now, working counts are 83 for Carnage, 70 for Greeky. Ox carts, I'm not so sure on the count, but then if you take that into account, and Carnage doesn't tend to get a lot of ox carts, he's probably up by a couple of workers, but this little harass here can be pretty good for Greeky. He'll be able to slow down Carnage's food eco. Even though it's quite good, Carnage is really only struggling with gold at the moment. But over on this side, Carnage isn't able to get on this gold because he's sending units everywhere else. Mounted archers coming in to clean up these prodromos, so be able to get the kills quite quickly. Greeky doesn't have enough to clear this terribly quickly, and Carnage has a nice mixed unit composition here. Masari's not really focusing down the mounted archers. Carnage pushing back Greeky over this side of the map now. Walling up a bit slow here, being a little bit costly for Greeky now. He's going to have to chase his lancers down from around the inside of his own base. Where is Greeky's? Oh yeah, there's Greeky's third down center. So now Carnage focusing down the wall, and from both sides too, he's got a little bit of better access, but he probably could have moved the mounted archers back to get perfect damage off on that. But it's not going to be a huge problem because now he can cut off Greeky's market. And Greeky attempting to try and do the same thing, but he hasn't got the terribly quick unit composition here. He's got Hypaspis and Spearmen, so the fact that there's mounted archers here makes this very tough for him, because they're sitting just at the back, getting off all that nice range damage. The Sappers, not a terribly useful unit against the Hypaspis though, so Greeky getting a little bit of value out of that, but they're not expensive by any means, Sappers. So Greeky still reasonably well defended. He only needs to patch up this little bit of wall, and he's got his army over this side, but he's only got one wall segment over here. He hasn't finished this up either, so Greeky, what are you doing, boy? You need to finish this. He lost his markets now, so Carnage baiting the army down, and Greeky needs to split his cavalry off here rather than moving everything around together. He needs to just pull the prodromos alone, get some saris in production, get them parked up over here, just to cut this army off, because if he's running around with his ranged units as well, he's just going to lose all his villages to this. So here we go, he's actually split off his cavalry. It makes it much faster doing that. Without it, they just move at the same speed as the range, and you never want that to happen, having your mounted units moving in tangent with your unmounted when they've got to cover such a distance, because it just costs you so much time because of the speed reduction. And so the Sappers coming in along with the rest of the Babylonian army, so he's going to try and take down the second town center, and he's got a nice unit composition to do this with, because the mounted archer is going to be able to pick off all the villages quite quickly. The lancers be able to kill off any Hypaspis to deal with the that are coming in to deal with the Sappers, but Greeky might just be able to save it. He's got more villages here, so oh no, Carnage does get it in the end. He does have enough to actually get this down. Right now Carnage still ahead by population by about 5, and village accounts 65 for Greeky, 73 for Carnage. Carnage going to lose a couple more units here, and Greeky now has this army moved down into Carnage's base. He's got 31 Toxotes and a single Prodromos here. Greeky going to need to get his second town center up again. Drawing down a storehouse in the middle of this, but he probably could have just put one here, one here, one here, one here. I think would probably be the most ideal way to do it if you've got the wood. But right now, Greeky picking off a lot of Carnage's caravans. Carnage doesn't have any lancers to come and tidy this up with yet, but he's got a lot of mounted archers actually, sorry, I take that back, so he's going to be able to clean this up. The mounted archers do win this trade. They do have about 2.5 times the health pool, so it does make them able to take this fight with ease, because they do have comparable damage per second. So the mounted archers getting all the kills there. Very versatile, very mobile cavalry, well, ranged unit. They are I guess a cavalry unit of sorts, but they are actually technically a ranged unit according to the game and its countering system. So Carnage again with the sappers, running into the wall, but he's going to be able to make quick work of it, but Greeky does have cavalry here to respond in time. But if Carnage can pinch these storehouses, it can bugger all the gathering off all these hunts, off all these farms. Carnage actually picking down off the farms themselves, because it's going to cost Greeky 100 wood each time he loses one of these. So Carnage is really going to be slowing down Greeky's economy, and again, Greeky is only at 75 villages. It's not as though either player has stacks of workers at the moment. Carnage down to 71 at this point in time. There is some mounted archers and lancers that have crept through. Greeky lucky enough to get that piece of wall down, so it's going to make it hard for Carnage to get everything through this gap. But in the meantime, he's come around the other side of Greeky's base. There's not really anything to... Here we go, there is some more sappers to come and break through the walls. Carnage now backing off. Greeky has a lot of Saris on the chase. A couple of other workers here. Now just getting to work, throwing down another watch post. Then they're going to go and gather somewhere else, I'd imagine. Sappers here. Now with a bit of support, so they'll be able to tear through this and instantly start dealing a lot of damage to Greeky. Greeky moving his Saris to come... Oops! Greeky moving his Saris over to come and deal with this. Creeping forward with the watchtower so he can continue to get more vision. Get the better heads up each time. But the sappers have broken a hold on the wall for Carnage, so Carnage is going to be able to interrupt the market line, prevent all the caravans from gathering Greeky any gold, who's basically on 0 gold. He's got this gold mine up here, but I think he might have forgotten about it. And these ones over here are basically in the path of all these units, so a bit hard for Greeky to actually gather any at the moment. Carnage going to continue to try and press up over on this side of the map now. He's broken through, he's got the sappers hidden away. He's taking the cavalry fight, so... And he seems to be winning at the moment. There's Prodromos now, going to come in and support, but without any Saris to support them, they're not going to be able to deal the damage to the mounted archers. They don't have a counter in that trade. They are being countered in that trade, but now the sappers get seen by the market line. So they are going to try and dash in and deal what little damage they can. Greeky still hasn't gone on his gold mines, so it's down to no gold except for what the caravans are gathering. Is really hurting him right now. Carnage is able to break Greeky, I think, here with all this little damage to the economy. Everything Greeky has to replace is just hurting him so much. Carnage still... Well, Carnage is actually not on any gold mines at the moment, but he probably got on one more. Or he's just had that consistent gathering off the caravans. He's actually up to 91 workers at the moment, so Carnage has a nice gold bank, and yeah, he does have a lot of caravans still. He's interrupted Greeky's caravans a couple of times more than Greeky has interrupted his, so he does have all that gold in the bank, has age 4 on the way, and is pushing into Greeky, interrupting the potential gold mine gathering there, getting all these workers at this town centre. Carnage is having to defend from Greeky now as well. There's a lot of sappers out to deal with this. Hypaspis are actually going to counter the sappers, but the sappers, there's just way too many of them, and they are fighting on home soil. They're being backed up. They've got a bit of town centre fire there to help them. The Saris, the Prodromos, sorry, coming in to chip away at the market line, but it's a little bit too late in the sense. Carnage up to 90 villages still compared to Greeky's 76. Greeky is going to be able to clean this up. And he's patched up down over this side, so he's doing a wonderful job of defending so far, but he's just running so low on gold, so low on food. He must have farms up everywhere. Yeah, Greeky is somehow still able to produce the food economy he needs. I don't know how he's doing it, but he is. But he's still down, he's still trailing Carnage by 6 population. Carnage getting some of his age 4 upgrades now, so this is where things are going to get tough for Greeky. There's mass sappers, and with close combat expertise, they're going to be able to tear through buildings with ease. They're going to have a little bit more health too, so they're not just going to roll over and die. And Greeky still only on age 3, doesn't have those sort of upgrades at the moment, so he's at a bit of a stat differential. Carnage at the front gate now. Has got pharmacology as well. Didn't actually take notice as to when Carnage got pharmacology exactly. The sappers is such a huge number, they can actually fight the Hypaspis without them being with the AIDS full barracks upgrades as well. So there's that nice one that gives the units the health and the damage in the stables, the range and the barracks. They're just so versatile, just so nice to have. Just allow you to break everything down quicker or just take a couple of extra shots, fight head on a little bit better, all those things. GG, Greeky taps out in the end. Carnage reigning supreme so far today, 2-0. Boy, that was a hell of a game. Carnage loves that map for some reason, but I mean, so do I, so I ain't gonna complain.